Myself. All right, and welcome everyone to the much anticipated, somewhat long overdue. Because we were supposed to start last week, and then I don't exactly remember what happened. I think I canceled. I don't remember. But no, I had to work late. That's what it was because I've been doing that a lot lately. So, but welcome to session one of our Roaring Shores adventure entitled "The Boarwood Incident." The Boarwood Incident, which super excited to be here. Super excited to be hanging out with these four amazing gentlemen whom everyone here has played at one time or another with Drew, but not everyone has played with each other. Some people play with each other a bunch, and some people haven't played with me in a while. So that's where we're at. And we're just going to dive right into it. We're going to have everyone quickly introduce themselves, tell us who they're playing. I don't want a character description yet, because we're going to get to that later. But just tell us who you're playing and their name. That's what I need. Just name who you're playing and who you are. All right, so take it away.
Hello.
I
uh,
thought it was
We're going to go Atomic Blau,
okay.
Drew, and then we'll wrap it up with you, Jester. Because that's
Classic.
how...
Classic.
We are doing names, right?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
you and your character's name.
Hey, everybody, I'm Atomic, and I am playing Vidrun, Eyes of Diana.
howdy, everybody. I'm Blau. I'm playing Asmar Salehi.
Hello, I am Drew. I am playing Garflo Brighthammer.
I'm Jester or Jasper or Jester Jasper or just Pericles. I am playing ASCII.
Beautiful. And of course, I am Darewolf, the game master. I play everybody else, including myself.
Poorly. No, I'm
A
just
mirror. Poorly and terribly. That's very true. So we open our scene with, as we often do in many of my games, a bird's eye view of a massive, sprawling forest. The forest seems to spread from east to west, from one horizon to the other, as we do this slow 360-degree sort of spin, and we start to kind of circle over this forest. And then we swoop down, and we see the tips of these trees. It is a what is it? A forest with pine trees in it. It's a was it fenris?
Deciduous?
Coniferous.
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 I wanted to say carnivorous, and I was like, that's not right. The forest is made of
Bloodthirsty
mimics.
forest.
Oh God.
Coniferous.
Coniferous forest, and we are zipping forward to the east. We see the sun is starting to set, so it's starting to dip down. Apparently, it sets in the east here, but it's starting to sip down, and there's those beautiful oranges and reds and yellows, and it's sort of making the forest look like it's almost ablaze. And as we continue to travel, we realize we're traveling northward. We see the smoke rising from what appears to be a small village or perhaps even city. As we get closer, we see there are a number of carts along a road that is heading into the town. These carts are laden, sinking low, their wheels into the grooves of this dirt road, and they are laden with what appears to be timber, as well as some furs and whatnot. So it looks like this small caravan of trappers and lumberjacks are making their way back towards the town as the sun begins to set. And as the sun begins to set and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, we see this group. There's a group of men, women, about a dozen or so. As we watch them making their way towards town, we see one of them, a man with a long beard, gray. He looks up and he kind of squints his eyes looking towards the forest, and it's dark. And as we get a view from his vision, we see an arrow come flying forward. As the camera then pans back out, we see him tumble over. We don't hear anything. We just see the scene unfold with just a multitude of arrows hitting this caravan, people dying, screaming, unable to lift their weapons in time. And as we then shift away from this scene, we see these sort of shadowy humanoid figures begin to move out of the forest. We then zip very quickly down the road, a good couple of miles, towards the town of Krudh. And that is Krudh, which is where our adventure shall be beginning, as it were. It shall be beginning And to give you guys an idea of where you're at, this is where you guys are going to be starting, right here. And we make our way down a couple of streets in front of a small, walled, little sort of like, I would say like almost a fort, but kind of looks like a like almost like a clubhouse is the best way I can describe it. Perhaps a mercenary hall of sorts. And on the gate, there is a sign that says Guild of Registered Mercenaries. All right, Guild of Registered Mercenaries, GORM. And it's slightly askew, like one of the nails has rusted through. And there's a little bit of a wind, and it's just kind of creaking. As we phase through the door, we head inside of this grand company lodge, and we see the following: a long table, a very, very long table, and sitting at the table, we see a bearded man. This bearded man is very angular face, very well put together man, and he looks just concerned. And to his left, we see a man with a mustache, little tiny little soul patch. He's got a stack of papers, and they are having a conversation. And as we look at these papers, we see that these papers are all past due, bill, taxes, etc. And it just looks a little out of sorts. We're gonna pivot outside, though, first and foremost, over to a small little shack where three women actually, are working on. Well, I'm actually gonna have Jester tell us what you gals are working on. Now, this is a little apothecary hut in the back part of the guildhall. All right. What are the three of you working on? Your two companions here. Your two companions are. This is Tola, who is the blue-haired, elven-looking woman, Tola. And then you also see next to her is a woman you know by Ingrid, also known as the Witch of the Village. All right, she's just known as the Witch, or just the Witch. She's an apothecary, does some poultices and healing wraps and things of that nature. Doesn't really seem to have any real magic ability, as far as you can tell. But she's somewhat of a reclusive woman that occasionally comes and helps you guys. So what specifically are you all working on in this moment?
I have my own personal kit of alchemist tools set out on one of the tables here.
Mhm.
And I've come in very excitedly, and I announced to the two women, they had Bloomber shrooms for sale. They had them for sale in the market today. I'm very excited. My eyes are all lit up about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already kind of grinding one up in a pestle and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get these for 10% off. I'm so excited.
And the woman with the blue hair, long braided down her back, she turns and offers a pleasant and sort of knowing smile. You've known these women for several months as you've been working in correlation with the GORM in this particular city, who has fallen on hard times. They are not doing well. There's not been a lot of adventuring, not a lot of missions or quests to take on, unfortunately. But she turns and she smiles and says, "Did you say Glimber shrooms?"
Bloomber shrooms for making cure light wounds potions.
Glimber
I was
shrooms.
able to get enough for 2 whole potions. It's gonna set me up so well.
That is absolutely wonderful. Truly, I just Aski, that is the best thing I've ever heard. However, I did send you to the market specifically for garlic powder. Did you remember to get that?
Well, I kind of spent all the money on the Bloomber shrooms. They were on sale. I couldn't not.
The witch, Ingrid, lets out this sort of raspy laugh. Can you blame the poor girl? They were on sale, and it's bloomer shrooms. 10% is not... Tola raises a hand. Yes, but now what are we going to eat for the evening? And they both just sort of look at each other. I want you to take a moment now, as well, Jester. I want you to describe... Is it ASCII or ASCII?
ASCII, like
ASCII.
the text. like ASCII.
I like it. ASCII.
Short for Asclepius.
Asclepius.
So,
Okay,
ASCII.
ASCII. Go ahead and describe ASCII to us, if you would be so kind.
I will read her little description.
Love that.
Fair skin dotted with light freckles, with striking teal eyes behind large round glasses, hidden a tangle of rich brown hair, and hidden under the hood of her handmade robes. ASCII is adorned with all manner of baubles and trinkets. Her backpack clinks with glassware, vials gently tinking off one another as she moves. Her robes would invoke images of priesthood if not for how frumpy and cobbled together they were. While they are well taken care of, they are nonetheless homemade and home repaired as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. We're going to pivot away from that moment. We're going to pivot away from that moment. And we're actually going to zip over to one of the little side rooms where a redheaded woman is exiting out of one of the many chambers that are allotted to different members of the GORM that are here. And she's going to be bumping into I believe he's a dwarf, or is he a gnome? Drew Baca.
You're muted, Drew.
You're muted, good sir.
Why wouldn't I be muted? I mean,
As is tradition.
it's
On
a
brand.
it's a Darewolf stream.
We're not streaming. We're just recording.
It's a Darewolf game. I mean,
That's fair. It happens all the time. We love
yeah, he's a dwarf.
Beautiful.
It's a bit of a dandy.
This redheaded woman, who you know as Shay, Shay. She is a warrior type, sort of a chip on her shoulder. Oftentimes you find her being sort of quiet, reserved. You've maybe ventured with her once or twice, similar to ASCII. You've been here with the mercenary group here, the GORM, GORM, GORM.
Gorm.
And you've had just you've probably shared maybe a dozen words in 3 months, right? And as you go to walk past the door, she opens it without looking, bumps into you. What are you carrying, if anything, in this moment? Something you
He
might
has he probably wouldn't be carrying anything like in his arms.
Mhm.
He has a fairly ornate small 8-bladed mace hooked to his belt, and on the other side he has a large ornate spellbook.
As she bumps into you, this 8-bladed mace somehow gets tangled and becomes unclipped from your belt, falling and smashing into her toe. Now, luckily, it seemed to hit her at a particular angle somehow that it's not a strong swing, right? But it hits her in the foot. Luckily, she was wearing boots, but she yelps and recoils back, pulling a kukri from her belt and like readying it up at you and having this moment of like, what the fuck just happened? Are you trying to kill me? Give me a sense motive check. Actually, give me a perception check, Chewbacca, real quick, if you wouldn't mind. I should say Garflo, right, Hammer?
Garflo.
Give me a quick perception check.
Skills and let's see. Oh my god, I haven't played Pathfinder in so long.
It's been
Where
ages.
is it? There it
Literal
is.
years.
Wow.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
You would notice.
Not bad for a first.
You would notice
roll.
2 things.
This
One,
game's blessed.
there is an opened letter that is on her bed, which is unmade and messy, like she probably hasn't made it in days. Her eyes look a little puffy, and her cheeks are slightly flush red. You're 99% sure she's been crying, all right? This is not a woman that often cries. She quickly relaxes as she realizes who you are and sort of adjusts herself. She had crouched slightly, adjusts herself, standing up to her full height, and she just looks down at you, and with a huff, she says, "Watch the fuck where you're walking, you stupid little half-fucking mother," and she just starts to blither at you with the most words you've heard. 90% of them are expletives. She just unloads on you. She's calling you all manner of horrible names: short, idiot, stupid,
All in
dumb
common.
nitwits, just going off on you. Give me a sense motive check.
Oh.
Nat 1. Well, good to see you too.
She's in a good mood.
I haven't been greeted so warmly in years.
Fantastic. Apparently, you don't pick up anything else. She's just mad at you. You're not sure why, but she is going off, just yelling at you. What do you do? Burning hands. He
All
freezes.
problems can be solved with arm wrestling.
He freezes.
Or magic. Give me 1 minute here.
She's just.
You-
I want you to imagine that it's one of those moments where he gets like tunnel visioned and he's watching her, but it sounds like he's underwater. So he's just hearing.
Okay, that's what I figured. I cast Daze.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. What's the save?
Will negates.
What's the DC?
I don't know. Let's find out. It'll tell me. DC 13.
So she's going off on you. You just hear
Charlie Brown.
and then you quickly just flick your wrist. Bit of magic. Hits her in the head. You see these little sparks and sparkles kind of appear, and she shakes, looking confused. Stumbles back, grabbing the door handle. As she does so, she trips, slamming the door, and from behind the closed door, you hear a kerthump. Ow! And that is the end of that.
I pick up my mace, flip off the door, and continue on my way.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Let me see you walk. Now, give us a brief description as he walks away, please, good sir. Give us a brief description.
Garflo is he's a bit of a dandy. He has one of those kind of musketeer style hats with the the one side up and the big plume. His beard is long but like extremely well kept, with just some really nice braids, and then he has this huge handlebar mustache, curled. He's wearing really nice looking leather armor with a really nice slitted doublet underneath, and the matching kind of pants. Just nice boots, a big emerald ring, a couple of small emeralds in his ears. He's just really just a super well-dressed dwarf. He looks a lot more pissed off than he did before, but even then he's still just kind of like, well, I never.
Well, I never.
I just
never.
I thought she was a better upbringing than that.
I love it. So as you wander,
He just clips his mace back to his side and pats his spell book and makes sure he has all of his stuff and
absolutely
passes on his way.
Friggin' brilliant. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. And as we pivot down the hallway, we're gonna go down this hallway over to here. We're gonna come down to this cool little thing, and if you actually zoom in, I actually put a map of the Flothal Empire on the map table inside of the of the place. So it's haha immersion. We're actually gonna come over to there, and we're gonna see. I'd like to see the two of you because I'm interested. Because I feel like you guys do work together. I understand you guys know each other out of character and in character. Excuse me. But you both are by this table that has a map of the Empire here, and there's an area on the map that has a bunch of pins in it, It's about, based on the distance indicator on the map, it's roughly probably 5 or so miles out of town. And there's a couple of pins, and you're not sure what they mean. But I'd like to know from you two, why did you guys come into this room? Like, why did you come into the map room? I want you to feed me an idea. What brought you into the map room? It could even not be necessarily the map, but maybe you want to talk about something. But what brought you two into the map room? Talk to me.
Yeah, Asmar would have pulled Vidrin aside. Vidrin,
Vidrun, that's fine.
Vidrin. Okay, he would have pulled Vidrin aside, and they're both pretty reserved characters, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd say, "Work's been slow. How are the spirits?"
The spirits are conflicted, but they are still there.
Time we move on.
Perhaps
If you have nothing to put to rest, and there's nothing keeping us here.
Out of character, Wolf, have there been any major conflicts or any like I don't know, major events happening in this territory? I mean, other than anything small, but anything big, like wars going on, uprisings,
So
rebellions,
that
any
is a
sort of thing?
phenomenal question, and I can feed you a little bit of backstory to this region. Okay, so the Falafel Empire is ruled by a number of lords that each rule their own individual section of the empire, and then there is a sort of like figurehead man that lives in Dusthand, right? But he's really just a figurehead. He's not actually the emperor. Really, the Castle Shade, Castle White, Castle Dryhost, Castle Fast. We've got Castle Turth, Castle Drister, etc. So these 6 lords kind of really just rule in this like uneasy, but also like just everyone understands that if we go to war, we fail, right? And we fall. Okay, so your area that you're in falls under Castle Fast, all right? Phast, and it's Lord Fast is the gentleman that rules it. Little is known about him as an individual, as is most of the lords. They are very reclusive people, and tend to themselves, but they take care of their own. So the big thing is that there hasn't been a lot of work for you guys because their military, their own militias, have done a fine job of keeping goblins and monsters and bandits at bay, and this has felt like in the past 6 months as though they're trying to edge you guys out. That's the talk around the watering hole. That's the talk around the campfire. That's what you hear in the market. Like some of the citizens are like, why do we even need the GOM? Like, why do we even need them? Why do we even, like, we have Castle Fast, etc. Like, why do we even need these adventurers? Really, they're just here to take our money. Like, the lords do it for us. We pay our taxes. Like, why do we need them? Right? So that's what you've heard. But please, continue, and if you have more questions, ask them.
Yes, there have not been very many. Still trying to get the voice down for this guy. There have not been very many conflicts in this area, so not too many restless spirits for me to deal with. How are things looking on your end? What are your prospects?
He gestures at the map and the pins and says, "None of those are available contracts, as far as I'm aware. I don't think there's going to be any work showing up soon. Perhaps a quick expedition to Castle Fast, see if Lord Fast is in need of more men."
Can't be any worse than the one we left.
I'd like you both take a moment, as you are talking, to describe your characters. Let's start with Atomic. What does he look like? And then we'll go to Blau.
Okay. I'll best describe it, but I'm also going to, in typical me tradition, drop a image I'm basing this off of in the chat. So Vidrin is kind of an oddball in that he is completely covered from head to toe. Excluding his fingers, you cannot see a single bit of skin on him. He's covered in, bits of leather, bits of cloth, bits of fur. He's got little like bone fetishes hanging off of him. He's got a mask covering his entire face. Really, the only thing you can see other than his fingers is you can see In this one, it's whatever, but you can see his eyes, and his eyes glow almost like starlight. Like it's kind of weird. They kind of seem like the irises seem kind of to be like moving around almost like a snow globe. It's kind of a weird thing. And he's got a quarterstaff. It's also got more like bone fetishes and stuff hanging off of it. He's got a couple pouches with reagents and like little bits and bobs of stuff and everything else. But yeah, it's just odd that he's completely covered. And it's a bit, just he's out of place, really, compared to anybody else nearby. He's about 6'1", 6'2", maybe. He's kind of a tall guy, average build. But yeah, that's Vidrin. He's pretty chill.
Love
Okay. Asmar is about average height. Nothing special there, but he's a pretty lithe build. Like he's not like super slim or anything, but you get the sense that his strength isn't from brawn. He has a neatly trimmed beard when his cowl's down, like he pulls up a cowl and a mask in combat. And he wears light armor, mostly covered by loose flowing clothing in grays and earth tones. And it looks like it's seen better days, but it looks like originally when it was made, it was very well done. Like it was very nice clothing when it was first made, but it has patches and whatnot now. It's seen a lot of travel.
Makes sense.
Does he fight with his short spear?
He does not actually. He's a falchion wielder. He has a falchion and a kukri.
But that just sounded like, does he ride the short bus? And just got
No, he sounded like an Aiel to me.
Please, the dwarf rides the short bus. All right.
No, he I do like the idea of pole arms, but in Pathfinder they're so hard to make work mechanically unless you just go down that route entirely.
Yeah, unless you go a defender build, kind of a reach fighter.
Well, as the two of you are discussing prospects of abandoning your guild, which is down to the four of you, the leader, who is a gentleman by the name of Owen, and his partner, Zer, Z-E-R, is what he calls it, short for Zernophos, as it were. And as two of you are discussing, there is a loud boom, 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 bang, 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 boom, 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 bang, bang, bang on the door, and what sounds like a shouting coming from outside. Now, it is just after nightfall, so the sun is finally fully set. It's dark. There are a couple of lanterns and some torches lit to illuminate the courtyard. But it's been at least a month and a half since anyone's even come knocking on the door to be like, hey, could you do this job? And I don't know if you're startled or not. Leave that up to you guys. But there's a bang, 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 bang. And you hear some muffled shouting. And like, who's there? You hear someone respond. It's the mayor. It's Mayor Finnell. It's Mayor Finnell here. I need to speak with the members of the GORM. And there's a back and forth, like, well, what do you want? I think I have work for you. And then they kind of go back and forth, and you get the impression that the two leaders of this particular branch of the Guild of Registered Mercenaries are so unused to, like, someone coming to talk to them that they're, like, not sure what to do. They've forgotten how to mercenary.
Do we let him in?
do we let him in? What do we do? Right? I don't know what to do here. Okay. And they have a moment.
This is a joke, right?
I'm curious. All of you have heard this. Some somewhat more muted than others. Would any of you like to step in and go open the door as the two of these buffoons are just like looking at all their bills and not sure what to do? Oh, I see someone moved.
Yeah, Asmar will certainly enter the room and just kind of give them a meaningful look, like, are you good?
You go get the door. No, you get the door. Well, what if it's another tax collector? We don't have the money to pay for it right now. No, I think he said we have work. He didn't say he needs Burke. What the hell does Burke even mean? And they're going back and forth, kind of somewhat arguing with each other, as then the shaman man opens.
I was gonna say, while they're having this conversation, Vidrin just kind of, he just kind of, him and Asmar, I wouldn't say they're inseparable, but generally they travel together, kind of whatever. So he walks out, he follows them, and while Asmar is looking at these people like, what the fuck are they doing? And Vadrun just walks straight up and just like opens the door. He's like, how can we help you?
The man has a somewhat frantic look on his face. He looks nervous and shaken. It's plain to see that he looks nervous and shaken. Up in the herbalist shop, the blue-haired woman says, "Did you hear that?" And she looks over to.
I'm just so engrossed in these
Oski.
mushrooms.
She's gonna look over to.
I'm so
She's
lost
gonna
in
look
it.
over to Oski, and she says, "Could you go and find out what that was?"
What? But the.
They will wait. They're good quality. They'll keep.
Let me at least like start a burner or something, get something going so I can at least have something ready when I'm back. And
I like
fine. I also don't have control over my token, so
I'm gonna fix that for you right now, my dude. Oski.
I pretty much just poke my head out the door,
Yeah.
like from the hallway,
Uh-huh.
like.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So you've all entered in. The man before you, you would recognize as Mayor Finnell. He is a half-elven man who is the mayor or local governing body person, right? They call him a mayor of this particular town, this village, this city. And he looks shaken, somewhat frantic, and you would notice that one of his hands is... It's got what appears to be some dried blood on it. All right, some dried blood. And he is somewhat beside himself, and it's like he's waiting for you to invite him in. What do
are you a vampire?
No,
You might be.
Vadrun will, like
Roll for initiative. CR9 encounter. Let's go. You lose.
like kind of a stating that was just, you look tense. Do come in.
And he will quickly move in. And from outside, you would hear Vadrun. Some shouting, and give me a perception check if you'd be so kind.
The mayor.
The mayor's a vampire. Don't let him in.
18.
It's too late. They already have. 18. It sounds like you would actually hear. Now, it doesn't sound like. You would hear the shouting of what's happened to them, who found them, someone call the militia. They can't be found. Oh gods, what do we do if they're not here? And so it's just like a lot of these shouting back and forth. So you're getting this impression very quickly. This is over 6 seconds. That the militia from Castle Fast is nowhere to be found. And you're getting the impression that someone's dead. Someone's been killed. Someone's been mangled, perhaps. And now you have this mayor in front of you. As he steps in, you can see that his pants are somewhat stained with blood, as though perhaps he had leaned, fell, carried, we're not sure, but obviously been very close to a great amount of it. And the color of his face has all drained. He almost looks ghostly white. 2 fangs emerge and roll for initiative. No, I'm just kidding. That's all for you, Jasper. No, he just looks shaken beyond all belief. And he takes a moment to sort of steady himself, his hand shaking in front of him. I've never seen... I didn't know what to, You see the, I thought...
Are you bleeding?
No, it's all not... And he starts to wipe his hands.
Vadrun puts a hand on his shoulder and kind of like...
Yeah, that's funny, Blah.
Kind of like, please, have a seat. And don't forget to breathe.
Over. Zer pushes past. Owen pushes past. Moving up. It says, "Ah, yes, of course. We are the 2 officers here of the local GORM. GORM. I said it right. Shut up. No, Zer looks over. Shut up. I'll speak. Oh, yes. So we are the 2 officers. It appears you may have work for us, Mr. Mayor. Is that the case?" And the mayor is still somewhat shaking. He's sat down in a chair, and he's looking at it. And give me a perception check now that he's in the light of this chamber, which is both.
Can I also do
magical
a
heal
heal check
Yeah,
to see that if
Yeah.
he's actually not bleeding?
yeah, absolutely.
Adrin pours the man a glass of
Yeah.
water.
That's very nice of you. You know that he has blood inside of his body. Also, there's blood outside. He seems okay. You don't find any noticeable
Okay.
marks or cuts or anything of that nature on him.
No bites on the neck or anything like that.
No. There's a bite on his nose. It's a little, like 2 little fang marks. It's a nose of fire.
Did you want all of us to roll perception, or was it someone specific?
Anyone that wants to interact with him closely.
Well, I was
You're
here
looking
healing
for the
him.
neck
Sure.
region. Is what you're looking for. Yeah.
I'll throw a perception in as well.
What a bad roll.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So with that perception, though, ASCII, you would notice that 2 things. He has a sword sheath at his hip, but his sword is missing, and it looks like he had a dagger at one point that was affixed, and you can just see a bit of leather, like it got ripped off, or he dropped it or something. So he doesn't have his weapons on him. Just something curious, right?
Hmm.
He takes a moment or 2 to settle down. He takes a glass of water and he says, I don't know how to describe this sight that I saw, the mutilation, it was like someone had torn them apart. Not like a beast, not like some sort of animal that would be, but that they had simply ripped them from limb to limb because no, why? And I can't find them. I can't find the militia. I can't find. Look, I'm doing my best to keep the citizens calm, but this was. It was. And he starts to hyperventilate and have this like breakdown. He's having a panic attack. What would you guys like to do?
Asky's scared.
Asmar looks on kind of pensively, thinking there's surely someone's better at this handling this than he is, but isn't wanting to, completely just remove himself from the situation yet and get his bag and be like, well, that's it. Go on to Castle Faust.
I understand it was a traumatic experience, but can you describe these assailants in any better detail?
I didn't see the assailants. I only saw the aftermath, but there were markings. There were prints in the ground, like hooves, like boot. I couldn't identify them. I heard something. It was me and a few of my retainers. We were making our way. One of the caravan, they were late, and we went out to find them, and we found what was left of them, and then he was gone, and there was a shout and a scream and a growling noise like one I had never heard before, and I saw, and then half of him it landed in my arms, and I just ran. I ran until I could run no more.
Based on these, obviously they're very vague descriptors. Is there any type of knowledge check I can make on this?
So, Mr. Brighthammer, you just cast a spell. And you are picking up faint remnants of what this spell that you cast. Not that it's him, but that he was likely very close and may have been touched by it. So that's interesting. Now, 2 things for you. I'd like you to give me, what knowledges do you have, Mr. Brighthammer?
Let's see. What does Garflo have?
This is where we can can work with a little bit of the lore too, which will be fun.
He has Arcana and Dungeoneering.
Give me a knowledge or con check really quick. That is a 11. So, not great, not terrible, but enough for me to feed you this relatively common knowledge. So, ever since the events of Godfall, it is known that hell exists, the abyss exists, there are demons and devils, but those creatures have not been seen, heard of. It is not common practice for anyone to summon them. In fact, even as an arcanist, as a mage, you know that those types of spells simply aren't used very often these days because they don't work. All right? You just can't summon a devil or a demon. But something in your mind said, that's weird, hooved feet, and you cast Detect Fiendish Presence, and you saw what appeared to be like a shadow of like claws had like a shadow claws, like the markings of shadow claws. So like dark blood red and black sort of gashes along his left arm. Okay? Gashes along his left arm. But there's no visible markings. We had Astrid, not Astrid, ASCII.
ASCII.
That's what I said. Just it's ass. I keep wanting to say just Azzy. Old Kiki. We're gonna call her Kiki.
It's not the Kingmaker game.
We had Kiki. All right. We had Kiki. ASCII. There it is. Now I've got ASCII. We looked him over. Didn't find any physical damage, but you are seeing something. He was close to, maybe attacked by, but he was close to something that you thought wasn't on this plane. All right. So that's weird. Do with that information as you see fit.
Do any of you have knowledge of fiends?
Yeah, so I've got nature, planes, and religion.
Arcana, nature, religion, history.
Asmar just kind of did you ask that out of character or in character?
In character.
Asmar just furrows his brows and says, I mean, like the red skin.
That
Like from the stories.
Yes, I've detected a presence.
Furrows his brows even further, like, this is above my pay grade.
He was in contact with them. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Interesting. Bold choice. Let's see what happens. As you cast Detect Magic, give me a spellcraft check.
As he says he was in contact with him, Asmar would like loosen his kukri in his sheath and kind of rest his hand on it, like just nervously.
It's like, oh no. That's
I
good.
have
No.
knowledge
no,
of the
no.
spiritual. And
That's better.
that's much better.
Go ahead. You were going to say something, Atomic?
Just Vidrin's like, I have knowledge of other worldly entities and so forth. If you can narrow it down.
I believe he's had some sort of contact with a lower planed dimension or demon or some sort of fiend. Let me see if he's been magicked.
You are picking up with that spellcraft check faint conjuration. Faint conjuration. Almost as if he was close to the effects of a conjuration spell and like brushed it. That's what you're picking up. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Beautiful.
What was his name?
This gentleman's name is Finnel. Finnal. Finnal.
And he's the mayor?
He is the mayor of the town.
Mayor Finnel.
Very hands-on type of guy, so it's not uncommon for him to be like, oh, someone's missing, let me go find the... Like, he's the mayor that'll, like, climb a tree to save a girl's cat. Like, he's a good dude.
Were you around any spellcasting out there?
Spellcast? I don't think, I don't know. I just saw the viscera and the blood and the insides, and then
were there
and then he was, and then my retainer, Reginald was gone, and then Friedrich, he was gone, but then he was back, but it was only the upside of him, but he was missing his head, which the head should be on the body, right? And he starts to again have a panic attack and kind of freak out.
Asmar, while he's not really engaging in this conversation, is going to try and read the mayor,
Mhm.
trying to gauge whether or not his answers to the other questions are completely forthcoming or if he's trying to hide something.
Was this a sense motive check?
Probably in shock, so.
Beautiful.
He's not good at it, but
Is it
Yeah,
just a
there's a-
base 14?
Yep.
This guy is telling you the truth that he believes. Whether or not that is objective reality, you're unsure of. But
yeah,
you
yeah,
see
he's based
no
on traumatic
indication that
experience.
he's-
Yeah.
that he's lying to you. Nothing says he's lying to you.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a whole lot to go on. I mean, if there's anything I can do with knowledge planes, I mean, I'd love to.
I would let you do a knowledge planes. It's not if you're gonna have to roll like an 18, 19, or 20.
Well, it's my best skill, so hopefully.
It's good.
Now it's 17.
Oof.
Yeah.
Was
I'll
close.
toss my religion in the mix.
I like it. Oh,
Hey.
Nice.
Look at that! Look at that!
Wow. Wow.
There's
Wow.
one thing I was taught in my little village.
That's amazing. Jesus. I want to think how I want to flavor this for you, because I want to give you something. Because it was a nat 20. Nat 20 should be rewarded.
She is a deep devout worshipper of Plato's. So
Yeah.
you can tie music into it. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. You know what it is? There's something about the way that this is what you're going to pick up. This is what you're going to pick up. I'm going to flavor this way. As he's been talking, his hands are sort of shaking, but his left hand has gone to the table. It's this long oak, like rich mahogany table. That's what it's, a rich mahogany. It's a rich mahogany table. It's back when the times were good for this particular branch of the Guild of Registered Mercenaries. GORM. And
It's like a one-piece
he
table.
is tapping. He's tapping his fingers, and it's very rhythmic. And there's something about that particular rhythm. There's a faint dissonance in when his left finger hits the table. It makes a certain sort of tonal sound. When his middle finger hits it, so he's like tapping his pointer finger and his middle finger of his left hand on the table. And there's a slight dissonance. There's a difference in the sound that his two fingers are making that reminds you of a melody you learned when you were in training.
I was definitely homeschooled.
You know, your parents, like your mother hummed you a tune. That's what it is. You're homeschooled. Okay. Your mother hummed you a tune and said, should you ever hear this, know that evil is nearby and the music of your heart will need to be strong to survive it. That's all I'm going to give
Importance
you.
of fiends.
The demon's choir. Like I'm turning pale.
Yeah.
As it kind of like dawns on me. Like, we need to harden our heart against these foes. I do not feel good about this. Like, ASCII kind of like backs up against the wall a bit, and like paler. Like she's kind of afraid of this whole situation. But like she kind of like grips her chest a bit, and she's like, "Were there anyone else that made it? Like that's hurt, that needs help?"
And the
asking.
mayor shakes his head. I was the only one to return. They're all dead. There's nothing left from them.
How far out of town was this?
A few miles. Due south from where we're at. We need your help. The people of this village, this city, this town, we are not fighters. We have relied for so long on the militia from Fast, and if our lord's soldiers are not here, we have no way to defend ourselves. We will pay you whatever it costs. Please, you have to do something. You have to find out what's happened. If there's some sort of monster or creatures, I don't know, but please, you will help us, yes? Please, you will. At the mention of money, Owen and Zur have gotten very close to the man. They are comforting him. Oh, yes, please, of course, you can trust in the faithful guild of mercenaries to do their duty, to see that you are taken care, more importantly, that the people of this good, fair village, that we established a branch of the GORM here to defend them with life, liberty, and the pursuit of treasure.
I thought it was GORM, sir.
That's what I said. Yes. Yes.
Sorry.
So with that being said, let's talk turkey. Let's talk business.
Asmar would
go ahead.
Guys, Asmar would slide up closer to his compatriot. I remember the Vidrin, and kind of whisper, well, it seems like you have business to attend out there, whether or not the guild takes up the contract, so.
He kind of just, he's there, but without, turning out, he's like, perhaps the spirits could tell us more. This man is clearly in shock, and, well, we're not going to get much out of him.
He'd give a sharp nod and then step back against the wall.
I'm
Go ahead.
gonna head over to keep wanting to call you Garfield. Garflo.
Grimble Grim.
Garflo.
Bram.
Garflo.
Blib blub.
Did you say you saw a shadow over the mayor, over Fennel?
It looked as if he had been slashed by dark forces. I sensed a demonic presence and some sort of conjuration magic.
I will try something then. And I'm gonna regroup with these guys in a minute. Rifling through my backpack.
Ooh. What kind of is what kind of rifle? No, I'm just kidding. I may be out of spells, but I'm not out of shells.
I saw that meme yesterday,
It's
too.
so good.
With the wizard pulling the shotgun
So
out of the hat.
good, man. That's so
I
funny.
love it.
Asmar would then
Thanks,
move up
Brandon.
closer to Garflo and kind of lean over and say, is this something we could even handle? We wanted to,
I mean, I'll try anything once. And he reaches down and pats
Twice
his-
if it feels good.
he'd smile a bit at that and nod a little bit more confident, moving his hand off of his kukri at this point.
There you go, Wolf. I posted for him.
he as he pats his mace, he prestidigitates some sparks of electricity and lightning when he pats it, just so that it looks a little more impressive.
Ooh, I like that. He's a showman. I love that. You've moved over, ASCII, and the two men who have golden coins in their eyes are discussing with the mayor it's definitely not going to be fair. They're like, we'll definitely do this. However, if you see all of these bills, if we could just not have these anymore, that'd be great. And the mayor is so beside himself, he's not arguing, and they're very much taking advantage of the situation. Yeah, of course. Whatever we do. Yep. So just sign here,
Mayor
sign here.
Fennel,
Yeah, initial
Mayor,
subsection 4. Yes, and he'll look up, and they've got his hand, and they're signing for him. It's a whole thing.
I'm a cleric, and I kind of want to try and purge the shadow that might be looming over you. So if you don't mind, I can try and do that.
If whatever you think would be best, whom of our small pantheon do you worship?
I can tell you afterwards if it works.
That's brilliant. He is too beside himself to protest, so please continue.
Oh no. I pull out a pretty large flask. It's kind of more like a mug, like a thermos than like a normal glass flat, but it is glass through and through. And it's got some pretty kind of just almost looks like just plain water inside of it with a big cork stop on it.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have you hold this while I bless you, okay?
Oh,
And so I hand it to him.
All right.
And I clasp my hands around his hands, and then I say a prayer. Platos, bless this man, and I like shake his hands. And as I shake his hands, the fluid starts glowing really brightly, like it's clearly an alchemical reaction. Like I'm not doing magic here.
I love
just
it.
shaking his hands to make it glow, and then it just explodes. Like the entire thing just goes up.
The two men take a step back, like, no, he has to sign subsection 4. Our paperwork. They're just having.
This is a holy bomb. It is positive energy. So unless somebody in this room is like undead, everyone's fine.
He goes.
All right, roll for initiative.
No, you're not playing Caius. It's fine.
So yes, this is a positive energy bomb. I'm assuming no one dies from positive energy here. And so that's my attempt.
There is a sizzling sound coming from his arm, his left arm. And you see these 3 streaks where the golden yellowish positive energy seems to cling and then like seems to burn something off. And as it happens, he like flexes his left hand and says, "By the gods, what have you done?"
I'm so glad that worked.
That's
a blessing from Platos.
My mace and like shield my spell book.
A blessing from Platos. I hope this alleviates the troubles within you.
I feel more myself. You have my thanks, young lady. Also, what have you had me signing? What do you mean of forgiving? I'm not going to forgive all your debts. And then the 2 men just both turn to look at you, and they're like, "You little runt."
I left my Bunsen burner burning. And then I leave the room, running back over to the alchemy lab.
So, well, I'm imagining, in the movie Armageddon, when they're negotiating with the government, he's like, they don't want to pay taxes again, like ever.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
So, long story short, the 2 men negotiate a much better situation where you guys will go and investigate. They're going to put together a group. You'll go and investigate. Half of the local guild will head off to investigate the occurrence of whatever the hell happened, right? And then the other half will stay in town to help maintain order. And a little bit more and just sort of regulate things amongst themselves, amongst everyone, as it were. So, as you can be expected, the 4 of you will be chosen to go on this
Eating the beast. Oh,
what a twist.
Yes, what a twist. While Shay, the witch, who is not really a part of the guild, but also...
Totally is.
No one's going to ask her to leave.
Yeah, no one asks her to leave.
But also pays rent on time. That's their only source of income right now. So,
it is what it is. And then
no one asks her she gets the money.
Here to help Mayor Fennel put things back together so you guys can head off and, do your thing. So I'd like to take a moment. How do you guys want to prepare for this? Are you heading out post-haste? Do you want to wait until the morning? What's going to be the plan on this?
Asmar goes into his room and returns about 3 minutes later with a backpack that looks like it had like 2 shirts folded on top of it, like just put in just then, and is like, "I'm ready to go."
Oh wow.
He had
I
a
have all
bug
of
out
my
bag,
things.
dude. He
I
was
would like-
ready.
I would
He
like
has
to wait
all
for
of
the
his
morning.
stuff.
I do not have my combat spells prepared.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think the morning would be
SMR
best.
like, oh.
If we've
Backshot
got a bunch
shrugs,
of
like,
if
oh.
we've got a bunch of travel to do and we think there might be some demon,
He said it was only a
demons
couple miles out.
yeah, but still, I don't want to go out in the nighttime with.
I
demons
need to
of the
finish
darkness.
brewing these potions. I almost burned one.
Give me
Say we leave
an
in the
alchemy
morning.
check.
I
Make
will.
sure
I
you-
literally cannot fail this. My alchemy is so high, but I will throw it out anyways,
Maybe
unless
roll a
because
one,
if
maybe,
I
right?
roll a 1, there, I'm fine.
Did you roll 1?
I did not roll a 1. I'm good.
I was about
Yeah,
to
I can
say.
craft a cure light wounds with that at this level. I'll craft 2. I bought enough supplies to craft 2, actually, as part of my character build. So I'm gonna make 2 of those right now.
Absolutely brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys are getting ready. So there's one person who wants to leave right now. There's another person that wants to leave in the morning. What do you guys?
So
want to do
Asmar's
saying?
totally fine waiting until the morning. He's not like raring to go. He's just like, I'm ready.
Well,
Let's
they're
head out.
pretty, you know, they travel a lot, so I imagine he's always ready to
Yeah.
go.
They wander.
I like it. Like it. I like it. I like it. All righty then. So you guys rest for the evening. The other 5 of the guild head out and begin to sort of help create order. Now, a part of the big thing that I want to get across here is that, and we're just stepping out of character for a moment, is that because of the lords in the Empire, their personal militaries and militia overseeing things, most villages don't have their own military or even like guards. Everything is reliant on the lords, right? So the big 2 things I want to make sure I got across is the lords have disappeared. And a part of the reason I'm doing this explanation is simply because you guys haven't played in the world, and I'm trying to make sure everyone's on the same page to get. These are things your characters would know, right? So the big 2 things: the militia that's supposed to be here is missing, and the other big thing is that you're like the only guys they could go to. Okay, so that's the impression. I hope that came across. Sorry to
You are the D team.
Yeah, you are the D team. All right, the A B C D E F. We're on letter G, but it's fine. So they head out and they're gone for the rest of the night. This next scene is going to take place late in the evening when everyone else is out, kind of just helping maintain order. There weren't any riots or nobody went mobbing or anything like that, but people were nervous and scared and like, hey, where's the militia? What's going on? What's happening? Yada yada yada, etc. etc. And just keeping the peace. Okay. This scene is going to take place where I imagine, and I don't want to put any words into your mouth, but I feel like you might hang out in the apothecary hut a lot. I feel like that's kind of maybe a home away from home. ASCII, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
Right? Okay.
definitely.
All right. So you are maybe half awake, half asleep. You've
Found
finished your
some burner.
potions. You hear scratching at the door. That's like a
Oh, no.
little all right.
Hello.
It sounds like a little tiny, almost like a cat's claw. Like they're
I'll roll a
pawing
knowledge
against-
nature, just local vermin.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like a cat,
Okay.
but
ASCII
there's
likes cats.
a lot of
Man, that-
things that could sound like cats that aren't.
Cats do hate closed doors. Can confirm.
Is there a guild cat?
I was about to say something less
I was about to
kind
say-
about cats.
Yeah, you would.
You
I
know
would.
what? You tell me, is there a guild cat?
Tilly the guild cat sounds perfect to
I
me.
mean, we got crops and stuff. We got to keep the rats away somehow.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's Tilly the guild cat, and I'm going to open the door because they want to come in by the warm Bunsen burners.
Cool. You open the door, nothing there.
Don't like that.
Nope.
Just close the door.
As you close the door, there is a window that is on the left-hand side if you were facing the little desk right on the side there. Okay. And
Okay.
as you look up, give me a perception check.
Okay. I'm a little skill
No.
monkey.
You're a little skill monkey, aren't you? You are certain, because you rolled a 20, that you see for a brief instant a tiny winged creature carrying what appears to be a scroll of paper in its hand. It has bat-like ears, green glowing eyes, and a little clawed finger that goes tick, tick, tick on the window. And then as you blink, it is gone.
I am quickly under the desk. Not Tilly! Not Tilly!
And as you go under the desk, you realize that you're not alone as you hear a and Tilly is under there with you.
Oh, sorry, Tilly.
And her tail is all floofed, and the fur on her back is straight up, and she's very
I'm just like, I'm just
unhappy.
clutching Tilly.
Yeah.
Just like under the table.
Yes.
Oh, that
Very
cat'll
good.
fuck up level 1 adventurer.
That'll do it. That'll do
So
it.
true. So true. The cat is probably way more deadly than the imp with the piece of paper out the window.
It might be. I don't know. Let's look up stats for a cat.
I think there are
Cat
CR 1
finder. Hold on. Cat common is a 1/4 CR. Imp.
I'm dead. It's over. It's over, guys. I gotta re-roll. New character coming up.
Hold on.
It's like watching a wizard get killed by a
and
kobold.
It's a CR2. Like, it can mess you up. All
No,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
imps are no joke.
Yeah, it'll mess you up, man. It's a scary
That
thing.
DR is nothing
What's
to
that?
sneeze at level 1.
What's that? The swarm of imps thing that you can do later.
It's good. So in the morning, you all get a good night's rest. The sun rises, and there is a kind of haze, like a morning haze, and it's ever so slightly tinted, ever so slightly reddish. Not enough to, like, if you stare at it long enough, you're like, nah, it's just gray fog, the haze, but there's a little bit of a reddish haze. All right. Anything in the morning you guys like to do prior to heading out? I assume.
I'm recanting my story of
Okay.
recounting, not recanting. I'm taking it back. No, I'm recounting my my story of the imp with a letter to the remaining guild members that are here.
You guys have some breakfast, little bacon and eggies.
I mean, would she know it's an imp, or do we need to try and figure out what the
Knowledge
hell
of
that thing is?
planes. Go ahead.
And
Bob.
you say it was like a foot tall.
Knowledge?
I only
How about a dirty 30?
You would recognize that as an imp. Now with that dirty 30, Atomic, imps, devils, they haven't been seen in the material plane in many years. Perhaps since the time of Godfall. Like, you know they exist, but they're not common. And if anyone's summoning them, it's not talked about. Like, that's not good. That should be your response, right? Like, just based on that, like, you would know. That's not good.
Well, while they're eating and doing breakfast, whatever, he's got like a book, like a journal, and he's like, kind of like drawing a rough sketch. He's like, "It sounds like it was an imp." And when he says it, he kind of like looks up and he's like, you can only see his eyes through the mask, and he just like squints them. He's like, "Those have not been seen in hundreds of years. You're sure it was this creature you're describing? You weren't dreaming or having a nightmare?"
It was only a second, but frankly, I'm more concerned about what it was carrying. Was it delivering a message to somebody? In town?
Did you
Maybe?
check outside your building to see if it left something?
I guess it's worth a shot.
Take a look.
Go over to the
It's in a book. Demon summoning.
behind the old apothecary's hut.
We have a book that is there. It's called Devil Summoning for Dummies. It's addressed to you.
Librum Demonica.
Bright yellow.
Librum Demonica for Doomkops.
How to summon demons for dummies. Step 1, acquire goat.
Step 2, sacrifice goat. Step 3.
Did it wrong. You summoned a
Question
devil.
mark.
Damn
Step
it.
4. Shit your pants.
All right. No, but you do notice, with a perception check, perhaps something.
I'll make a perception check.
Yeah.
Boink.
Beautiful. There's a tiny little, as you round the corner, there's a tiny little, it looks like somebody took their clawed finger and carved. There's a tiny little pentagram that's been carved into just under the windowsill where you saw this.
Well, I'm not dreaming that.
I'm gonna cast detect fiendish presence again.
There is a moderate fiendish presence emanating from that symbol.
Can I mean, I know what this is, but knowledge religion?
Yeah, sure.
27.
Out.
Wow, you guys are little skill monkeys. Look at you.
It's my two best skills.
That was a
religion and
19
planes.
on the die, though.
Yeah.
Like, I can't argue with that. That was a really good roll. So, that is a symbol of hell. Now, that's a good check. It's not any specific devil. It's not any specific devil lord.
Just a
That kind of
common mark.
information is so far in the past that it'd be very uncommon for anyone to know it. Like, even the most studied
You'd need
person,
lore.
You'd
at that
need,
point.
like, some sort
Yeah,
of... special
I'm
lore.
not like Asmodeus. Yep, Asmodeus.
No. You'd
Yeah.
look at that and go, yeah, that's a devil symbol. Devils haven't been seen on the material planes, and, like, we know they're real, they exist, but, like, they haven't been seen, they haven't been communicating with anyone on these planes, and...
Yeah,
since
he like
f-
copies the
300-400
symbol down.
years, you know?
He copies the symbol down and he looks to Hesky's
Yeah.
like, well, this definitely gives more credence to the male story if we have imps and so forth coming here. I can only
The
imagine
symbol
what
of
happened on
death.
the water.
Roll saves. Hilarious. Hilarious.
I took defiant luck.
Garflo's gonna reach over and like break the circle,
Ooh.
like slice it with a knife just to break it.
Touch line
So
in
you
it.
go and get a step stool and get up there.
We just pick him up and hold him.
I'm making a short
God
joke
damn
because you're a
it.
dwarf, but
Uppies,
no,
uppies.
uppies.
Uppy. Well,
So
dwarves
you
are
head
still
over
like
there,
what,
and
4
as
feet
you,
tall?
As you go to, what are you using to break the symbol?
Just a little pen knife.
Cool. As you
Yeah,
hit the
eating knife.
symbol, your penknife glows bright red and melts. Like it
Ooh.
slags, as though you had put it into a forge and superheated it. Symbol
Well.
flares for a moment, and then goes back to being just a little carved symbol.
Well,
Gasless
that's just-
Bunsen burner.
Disturbing.
Well, that was unexpected.
Fired out.
I pin a little piece of paper next to it that says "Do not touch."
Do not
And-
touch.
Just like,
Just out of curiosity, what temples exist in this town? Like what gods, if there are any?
You know what? That's a great question. There are temples of... Oh, I have to think. Who would be in this village town?
not my god.
Well, your god's dead.
You don't know that?
Well, I know.
I
According to
think I
the
do, though. I think of
There's-
all
there's
people
prob-
here, I probably do know.
well, there's probably at least I know it says that
Clearly not a big place
anywhere
like
there are
that.
major stuff to the major gods. There's always like at least a smaller shrine or something to Diel, just because of
You
For
know
business.
what? I would say there is a small temple of Diel here.
Okay.
Goddess of death and now birth and life and whatnot.
yeah.
And there's
Cycle of
probably a
life.
couple of small shrines. I'd say there's likely a small shrine to Ismael as well. The god of hamlets, who has taken over the mantle of cities, towns, and general governance. There's a shrine to him as well. Those would be the two main ones. And then you'd probably see a couple of, like, in the wilderness, Erok, god of springs, creeks, and ponds, who is sort of taken on as the nature god. Those would be the three major ones, right?
Perhaps it'd be wise to let the local clergy know, just so they can provide some spiritual protection if they can.
I might be able to cleanse it, but I'd rather save my power for the trip that we're going on. That's why
I
I put
concur.
the
Save
"Do
your
not
power.
touch."
I don't have any ability to dispel it.
Nor do I.
Asmar looks back and forth, being just a dude.
Just a dude. Just a man. I'm
dude.
just a man who can make you understand.
The good old fighter life.
Don't look at me. I just stab things.
That is that's a funny thing. It's a funny funny
Just a guy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's not really anything else we can.
Yeah, I think we just go
do.
through with that. We swing by one of the temples, say, hey, there be demons, and
Devils, not
then
demons,
head out.
Devils.
Sorry.
Levels, yeah.
It's okay, everyone's saying demons, not demons, devils.
Asmar is
We
uninformed.
saw
enough
one
to call
imp,
demons.
all right? Hold
I
your
mean,
horses.
look, we might not know the difference. Everything might just be demons.
Honestly, I like that. Retcon what I just said.
There be devil.
There be demon devils.
Yeah, we might not know the difference.
There be lower planers about.
Woo! All right. Well, we're gonna head back
Oh.
out into
Oh, we're
the
calling it
great
drow now.
wild yonder, as it were.
Death
And as you guys head out,
Job's done.
there is a love that game.
Work.
There's work. Zug. Okay.
Stop poking me.
As you head out into the wilderness, you're moving through the city, and the town is mostly a normal morning. You've got the market open. You have folks selling. Vendors are going. They don't have any more of the berries you need, unfortunately. They're fresh
Mushrooms.
out. That's
And I'll
what I
actually
said.
sell my potions if you'll allow me.
I would allow you to sell your potions. That's
I
fine.
will sell my potions.
Yeah, hold on to those potions. We might need them.
Brilliant. Absolutely.
Also, just because it's thematic right now,
yeah.
Tristram theme in chat. Demons showing up out of nowhere, haven't been seen for hundreds of years. Yeah. Also, Tristram theme slaps. So
Yeah. Well,
Good money.
there's no originality left in the world. That's all I'm saying. So
no, there's not.
What's
I love Tristram. It's great.
what's the markdown on sold goods here? Like,
you can get 50%.
Okay.
Pretty standard. By the way, to answer your thingy, I'm adding a character sheet for you for your animal companion, good sir. Or familiar? Familiar. You're muted. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, familiar.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
The road that is south of Krudh is sort of just a singular road. There's a couple of branching little paths that lead off of it into like lumbered areas and some clear-cut areas and whatnot. But you are heading south for about an hour. Okay, so it's about probably you're not. I'm assuming you're not hoofing it. You're not meandering. You're just walking at a steady pace. Correct. me
heading
if I'm
towards
wrong.
Pyreborn?
Yes, you'd be heading towards.
I think
Pyreborn.
knowing
I
what we
walk
know,
exclusively at Roman marching pace.
I was gonna say we probably. I mean, I'd move at a steady pace, but we know there Darby fuckery afoot, so kind of keeping an eye out for that sort of.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
there's danger around, so
Good.
as-
Good. Go ahead.
Asmar will take the lead and kind of scout ahead, as it were. He's got both stealth and perception and some survival. Oh, no, not survival. I'm sorry.
You do be a sneaky bitch.
Good.
I do.
On the reverse, there's ASCII carrying an entire alchemical lab on her back, clanking.
clank, clank, clank,
Clang,
clank.
clang, 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 clang.
Look, you just got to make sure you put
clang.
cloth in between all the clinky bits, and then you're fine.
So no, instead of
Why
clang,
not?
clang.
You think I can
it's
afford that much
clang.
cloth?
Do you know how expensive cloth is? Get out of here. All right. So you guys are going to be heading south.
Bro, it's us for real, for real.
By about 5 miles. You're not too far out. You're not too far out from the area now. Okay. And you notice something. The forest is very quiet. No birds, no mice, no beautiful deer frolicking across the path, looking at you like, hey, this is my road. Take the high road sort of thing.
Like
The-
Thwip. Oh, we got a dinner.
It's just quiet, all right? Almost unnervingly quiet, all right? The
Clink,
trees
clink.
are steady, and all you can hear is just the clinking of ASCII's alchemical set on her back. Just clingity clang, clung clang, clung cling, clingity clung clang, clang, clung clang, all right? And it echoes through the forest. You come to an area where there's a small bridge that goes over just a little creek that runs through the forest in this particular area. I'm going to move you guys over to a brand new map. So you guys
Asky
can
needs a staff to
see-
hang a wind chime from, too.
See what you can see here. All right, let me get you guys onto the map.
I mean, Vadrin's
I
covered
feel
in,
like now that Asky's heard the idea, Asky agrees.
Yeah.
I mean, Vadrin's covered in like little bone fetishes and stuff too, but they're like spaced out just enough where they don't
Yeah,
like clink
clickety
together.
clack a little bit.
Yeah.
Clickety-clack,
Little
don't
bit.
talk.
His staff might do a little bit. He's got little like charms hanging off of it, but he's
Right. Well, there we are.
Found an accordion on the side of the road.
All right.
one man
then.
band.
So you guys have come to this little break, and you can see that there are remnants along the road in front of you of a multitude of carts, and I'm going to give you guys some time to investigate, but I want to give you just that preliminary information that you would just pick up. Looks like the cart pieces were all dragged away, and one of the carts was dragged off to the right-hand side of the map, left-hand side of your perspective, because you're coming from north, up is
Mhm.
north, down is
North, south, yeah.
south. Okay. Was dragged off to the side and appears to have been like pulled into this little gully area. All right. And abandoned. You see a couple of opened chests inside, like maybe like they'd been for supplies or furs. Those are open. There's some furs on the ground. There's a little bit of wood sort of tossed around. And yeah, no bodies. The ground is stained red in certain spots. You can see where bodies likely laid, but you don't see any bodies in this particular moment. What would you like to do?
Asmar kind of looks back over his shoulder and says, if they drag the cart, they're bigger than the imp. Watch yourself.
Careful down in the gorge. They could be setting up an ambush.
We would assume this is the site where ship went down, yeah.
Matches the mayor's description of how far it was and etc. Up here, you guys see a small shrine on the side of the road. You'd have to get closer to pick up any real details about it, but there is a small roadside shrine here.
We have a wrestle at home, that guy.
We have a wrestle at home.
It's gonna take me a while to get used to the Pantheon.
Yeah,
No, it's okay.
absolutely.
I made it, and sometimes I have to look it up too.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is to Irok, the god of
Irok.
springs and creeks, is what that one is to.
Irok.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I guess I'm gonna cast Detect Fiendish Presence again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I-
Excuse me. That's actually not to him. That was to Verdantina, goddess of shrubs, bushes, is a majestic, enigmatic figure. She embodies a lush green abundance of nature world, presence and felt in every thicket grove. You're gonna cast Detect Fiendish Presence. What's the range on that, good sir?
Cone-shaped emanation of 60 feet.
Nothing,
And it
nothing
and-
from where you're at.
lasts 10 minutes per level. So I'm gonna, once I
Yep.
cast it, I'm just gonna start walking around.
I like it. Like it.
Asmar's gonna catch the group's attention and gesture and make a clockwise indication around the gorge, and then kind of fade into the thing,
Mhm.
going around the top of the gorge in a clockwise fashion, like indicated.
Beautiful.
Awesome. I don't have a stealth macro set up. Nice.
I'm heading over towards the other wagon.
Okay.
Question for you real quick, Blau. Do you remember how to turn a character sheet into a like NPC thing or whatever?
I don't.
What are you trying to do?
Trying to set, you can set it to set the character sheet to be like an NPC or like a
Yeah.
companion or whatever instead
can
of
help you.
a PC sheet. I don't remember where that option
Hold
is.
on.
Yeah. So Wolf, if something goes down, just assume I'm at some point along my path. I'm just doing a circle around the top of the gorge and just place me where you want me.
I'm following him.
Is
There we
that
go.
the sheet that you wanted?
Yes.
All right, I gotcha.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, you get to about there, Mr. Golden Doodle. And you're picking up a minor fiendish presence from inside one of the chests.
It's coming from inside the house.
Right there where I'm pinging.
He motions Small fiendish presence chest.
Mhm.
And then I will continue moving forward. Keeping my eyes out for said fiendish presence.
Mhm.
How far is the drop here? If say I had to just hop down, like 5 or 6 feet,
5
or is it like
feet. It's not bad.
okay?
Yeah.
So here's
Asmar,
something
Asmar will keep pace with.
I'd like to do, Wolf, and this comes down to the whole thing I brought up about him being due to his calling half in spirit, half in whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a thematic thing. But if he kind of stops and focuses and whatever, is there any spiritual essence, anything he can pick up on, kind of with
Ooh,
his
I
connection
like
through
that.
Dial?
So give me a will save.
Will save. Will's made a save. So 23.
Okay.
Oh.
So 2 things.
Yeah. What?
You feel as you enter into this, like you walk down a small path where like the bushes were, this ground where you're at appears to have been like clawed and dug out. Okay, this wasn't here before. This was like dug out, and this area was brought close. As you were all moving close to it, there is a smell of iron and blood in the air. All right, so like really, really thick smell of blood. All right, and as you enter into it, you feel like you push through some sort of like almost like an aqueous, like a liquid solution. It feels like you're pushing through like slime.
Pushing through water or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? There's like a pressure to it.
Hmm.
And you again sort of exist between the spirit world, this world. You see, you blink, and for a moment you see what looks like is, have you ever seen the movie Ghost? There's a scene in that movie
Let's see.
where
Yeah,
this guy gets dragged to hell. All right.
Okay.
And these like dark creatures come up and like claw him and like pull him down to the ground. You blink and you see these like dark hands, red and black and purples, come up and like grab onto these sort of amorphous but humanoid looking shapes.
Mm-hmm.
Their mouths agape, screaming like help. You don't hear anything, you just see it, and they're dragged down below the ground, and you blink and it's gone, and you just see the scene before you. It's a little jarring, but you don't like throw up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I mean, Eski's kind of beside him, but you might see him stop, and he kind of like it looks like he's
Yeah.
just staring off in the distance, and then like he jumps like he's been shot. It's kind of just like he snaps out of it. It's kind of just like,
Asky was like definitely watching the whole time. He's like, are you okay? You okay?
there were spirits here, I assume, of the slain, and something has taken them.
Careful. I'm gonna like call down, but like a whisper yell, down to
Hey, motherfuckers! There's some bad shit down there.
down to Garflow.
Hey,
being like,
God, fucking-
careful.
Oh man, I hope we get a Frank.
I miss Frank.
I miss Frank.
I know they say I can bring him back, but it doesn't make sense.
No, one day, maybe.
There's a weird ass cat outside.
Weird ass cat
This is
outside.
weird ass cat outside. I don't want him to upset Lucy. It's okay, Lucy. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But seeing that and kind of having that interaction, he's told Asky, but he'll kind of cautiously move forward. Now that he feels and knows there's some other sort of presence here that's
Sure.
affecting the spirit realm. Asmar's too far away, but Asmar would know when he gets to an area where there's been death. That's kind of he tries to see and or commune with the spirits.
Well, with how quiet the forest is, he probably heard you jump from there.
Oh yeah. I will say this: the fiendish presence hasn't moved. It's just hanging out.
Okay, I will move up.
Okay. Cool. You get to there.
Oop.
Wow, you went way too far. You get to there, and as you get to there, you hear this like scraping noise, and then jumping out from like under a cloth is a squirrel. Red squirrel with like really sharp squirrel claws. All right. Kind of looks a little bit something like this. And it lunges at your face. All right.
An acorn drops on top of the cart and he just starts shooting off in the distance.
And
Seed
it
rat.
lunges
I
at
got
you.
mag
All
dump.
right? And we're gonna go ahead and roll. We're gonna go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh boy. All right.
Let's get weird.
Let's get weird.
Let's see what happens. And
I
I'm
cast
excited.
mag dump on the
Surrounding area.
no, on the cart.
On the cart. Oh god. It's got a tied up guard inside it.
Make sure you combat roll a few times first, though.
Yeah. Ugh.
You know the guy
See,
was attached.
Just showing my wife that video tonight too.
You know that
the
guy was
fuck?
attached to a special forces group. Anyway,
Special.
What?
Yeah, in Call of Duty.
no, in real life.
Fuck.
Does a 16 hit you?
It was not an initiative.
Oh, sorry, I didn't roll.
I'm
okay.
not. I'm working on it.
16 does hit him, yes.
Just hits me.
And that will be.
God, I rolled terribly.
You take 3 damage as it latches onto your face, and it's just screeching. You know the chittering sound that squirrels make?
Mm-hmm.
Just screeching in your face.
I don't like it.
I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna make it like white like this so it stands out. But yes, there is a squirrel. It's latched on your face. It's dealt you 3 damage, and it's just chittering.
At least it's
We good?
Right. And it's more like, I'm gonna make it a little smaller. Hold on. It's like that size. And it's on your. I'm gonna put it on your face just so you can see it. It's on your face right now. There you go. That's what we call immersion.
I am fully immersed.
Yes.
Mhm.
In squirrel.
Give me a perception check on this squirrel. I'm looking for a DC 10, Drew Buck.
The guy with the squirrel on his face?
Yeah.
Can't miss it.
You'd be surprised.
God damn it.
You guys haven't played with me in a while. With my rolls, yeah.
Chewbacca has the worst rolls until it really matters, and then he crushes it.
Perception?
Yes, please.
It's very
I was looking for a DC 5, you miss it. That's hilarious. You did fail.
I mean, he might not see squirrel. He's just like he's walking. All of a
He
sudden,
just
there's
sees
just
Oh, I
rounds
see
in
a
his
squirrel.
face,
face.
feels claws in his face. All
Yeah,
right.
it could be a
So that was a surprise round. The red squirrel goes again. All right,
Uh-oh.
and it's gonna swing again. It crits you, maybe.
Oh god.
Oh, God.
That's funny.
We're gonna lose our maggots to a fucking
I
squirrel.
think it succeeds.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Lose our maggots to a
Look,
squirrel.
this
It's
is the
so
this is
funny.
the level 1 wizard dying to a kobold scenario.
I'm
That's
sorry.
No,
exactly
the
what's
cat
going on.
dude. Like,
That's fucking.
This is worse than the house cat.
You take 5 damage. It is just
Oh my
raking your
God.
face.
Oh my god.
Asmar, you're up next.
This
you're
is
gonna, like,
gonna-
if you hit him, you're gonna do half damage to him as
gonna-
well.
Yeah, rush forwards, kukri in hand, and try and grab with his left and grapple it.
Grapple the squirrel, go for it.
Yes. I don't have a grapple macro, so I'm just fighting a level 1. I don't know why I wouldn't have that ready.
18 versus CMD. It is a success. You grab the squirrel off of his face, which is just clawed up. Give me a perception check on the squirrel. You notice the squirrel's eyes are not the black beady orbs you might expect, but are instead, they look sort of like
Why has it
serpentine.
got cat eyes?
Like serpentine.
Ugh.
And they're red. Does anyone here speak Infernal?
I I do
No.
not.
Nope.
Okay. This thing starts talking to you in a high-pitched, squeaky voice.
It's a squirrel. It's a first.
And is very angry at you right now. All right?
6 languages and I don't know Infernal.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, I mean,
That's why it's interesting.
it's kind of a dead language at this
He's
point.
got it's trying to bite your hand.
Yeah, he's just trying to keep it down long enough
You're up
to get a
next.
kukri to its throat.
Atomic, you with us?
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I was filling out my familiar sheet. I will. I'm going to.
I didn't expect the squirrel to do that much damage, Drew. I'm sorry.
It's fucking hilarious.
It's perfect.
So make sure this squirrel's in range. This is funny.
It's a motherfucking squirrel, guys.
It's a possessed squirrel, to be fair.
Maybe.
So I'm going to use an ability called Stardust, which is one of my domain abilities as a shaman, and effectively, it kind of like the squirrels in front of the squirrel's face. It kind of just like has like stars, like flashes and whatever, but it effectively takes a -1 to its attack rolls and perception checks.
That's good. Any save? No save or any save?
Let me double check. No save.
Perfect. And it's got a -1 to everything it does.
Just attack rolls.
Everything it does.
Attack and perception.
Yeah, attack.
All the things
All
it
it
does.
does is attack, so yes,
Okay.
that's everything it does.
It is an attack spell. Yeah. and that'll
Good
be my
sir, Dwarf. You're missing a couple beard strands. You have claws all over your face. You're bleeding, and
I want you.
also a little embarrassed, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
Yep. Let's see. I am going to activate my arcane pool, which turns my mace into a +1 mace.
Love that.
And then
Kill the squirrel.
I'm going to. Sorry, I've never played a magus before. I have to figure out how this works.
No, it's good.
I'm gonna use my spell combat,
Okay.
which lets me cast a spell and use my weapon as if I'm 2-weapon fighting, essentially.
Nice.
The spell I'm gonna cast is True Strike.
Finally a use.
And then with that, I'm going to get a.
Give him the boops.
It's now a +1.
Can't believe that thing nearly killed you.
It's got another 2 rounds of life in him.
You can take 2 more squirrel hits.
I'm just gonna roll it and I'll add. It adds 18 because I'm at -2.
You'll be all right. Yeah, it's a 30 to hit for 9. You smack the squirrel. You smack it hard, and it doesn't deal as much damage as you thought it might. Okay. However, the thing stops screeching in some strange, horrible language and starts speaking common. And the thing goes, "Ow! Ow, you son of a bitch, that hurt!" Why the hell would you do that? That hurts so much. You scared
Because you
me.
almost tore my face off,
You scared. You startled me. I
son of
was
a
sleeping.
goblin.
You sneak up on people? Is that what you do? Some sort of sneaky?
I walked up to the chest,
Sneaky little
and you
dwarf
attacked me, and
bastard.
you ripped my face off.
And you started it with your stupid face and your beard.
Yeah, well, your stupid claws and your ugly, unkempt tail.
How dare you? I will rip
sir.
your face off again. And I
And
want
you
to
also
imagine
smash
that
you
Blau
into
is
1,000
holding the
tiny
squirrel,
pieces.
and the squirrel has its back legs out, its tail floofed, and it's trying to like claw at him, but it can't because Blau's got him in his hand. He's like, "You little son of a bitch! I'll fucking finish what I started. You stupid little
Just
nerf
hold me
herder."
back. Hold me back.
He looks back.
I'm
Hold
going
me
to
back,
rip
sir.
your balls
Hold me
off
back,
and
or I'll
make
end
them
him.
into a stew.
Yeah. He's just yelling. Just lots of yelling.
So much yelling.
Yeah. Lots of yelling. Well, next turn is Oski. What would you like to do?
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna head over here.
Yeah, cool.
I just witnessed like a miracle. Very angry squirrel. My Play-Doh, you will be healed, and I
you're dumb.
dump a potion over
You're
you.
dumb,
I dump some liquid over you.
Your
You are
dumb,
healed
stupid,
80 points.
stupid face.
Spectacle.
And you're stupid, and that hurt. That was my tail. It's not stupid. You're stupid, and you're dumb, and I hate it, and I hate you, and I hate being here, and they left me, and this is horrible, and I hate it.
Well, you started it, you furry bastard.
No, I did not start it. You started it. You snuck up on me while I was sleeping.
If I were them, I would have left you behind as well.
I can't believe you. You know, words have words can hurt. They can cut.
Yeah, you know what hurts more? Claws to the face.
I disagree, good sir. And the little squirrel turns around, curling its tail up, wrapping it gently around. I want to get your name. I don't want to keep calling you Blau.
Asmar?
Gently around Asmar. And softly begins to cry into your
That's a free
into
action.
Your hand, and is a free
Crying
action.
is a free action.
Yeah, begins to cry.
And your mom's a hoe.
Yeah, he just begins to cry very sadly.
And you're ill kept. He looks over at Aski. Why is it crying?
This is so mean. I didn't want to come here, and I hate this place, and it's too temperate. I miss the warmth, and I hate everything about all
It
the
almost
stupid.
ripped my face off, and it's
and
my
they said
fault.
I was too small, and that I wasn't strong enough. But it's not my fault, because
This is still the demon possessing the squirrel.
I didn't get to pick what I was when I came here, and it's just not fair, and I just wanted to be part of the ritual, but then they said I wasn't good enough. Fuck those guys, and it's not fair.
What
What
guys?
Can you tell us about this ritual?
And the little squirrel takes his little paw and kind of rubs his nose. It's just
Yeah, Asmar set it back down in the box it jumped out of.
and it sits down. It does a little squirrel thing. Its little paws up and rubs its little nose and sniffles a little bit and puts his little pawed claws together. And he's like, honestly, when you grabbed me, I was ready to bite you, but you're a lot nicer than that bearded fuck. So, thank you, sir. Bows.
You're welcome.
Yes. So
It's kind of at a loss for what to say here to a talking
squirrels
squirrel.
don't normally talk. That's weird, right? Well, I guess we should start with introductions. My name is, and he stops,
Useless piece of shit squirrel is what it is.
Fernando. It's very nice to meet all of you. Just wanted to say that, despite everything, I think we got off on the wrong paw. So I think if we all just take a breath, reconvene, realize that, emotions and tensions were high. You woke me up. That's a lot. It's a lot to ask of somebody. Would any of you happen to have any food?
Can you set my familiar to tiny, please? Tiny size.
What's that?
Asmar has
Like
rations.
this?
He'll pull some out.
Tiny? Like that?
Yeah.
I got you.
I imagine it's
So-
the standard adventuring mix of meat, biscuit.
Yeah. Jerky,
nut.
hardtack.
Squirrel eats only the
pemmican.
meat. And it does
Oh.
so like,
Voraciously.
aggressively,
Messily?
voraciously. Yeah.
Yeah, like offers the nut and is like eyeing the jerky. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold
Well,
on.
it's like Benicola, but it's a fucking squirrel.
It's so good. It was fucking god delicious. I wish it was alive.
Being too kind to the fiend.
Oh, now that I've got it pretty
You
much
are
done.
still detecting fiend from this thing, by the way.
No one give it your name.
I think it says, looking over to the young girl, I think you're confusing me with Faye.
Having been
It both
informed
starts
of,
with F, okay?
yeah, Asmar will kind of bottle up and step back at this point because he doesn't know shit about shit as far as things go.
The squirrel eyes ASCII and is like, I didn't know they package bigots so tiny.
So the squirrel's sitting on top of this cart, right? How high is this cart off the ground?
Like eye level?
Eye level? Okay. So Vadrun will actually just sit down on the ground, cross-legged, and puts his hands on his knees. I am Vadrun. A pleasure to meet you.
Squirrel, with its kind of weird serpentine eyes, looks at you and says, Vadrun. It's a great name. Solid name.
Yeah.
Strong name.
So,
Probably
just
one of
for
the best names I've heard in forever.
Mhm.
Give it your name.
So he has like this bone or this like rock charm thing around his
Don't
neck.
give it your name. Gives it its name.
Yeah, well, it's just
Immediately.
it's just whatever. But it kind of like pops off his neck and it starts floating, and it just looks like a stone with other stones kind of orbiting around it,
Mhm.
and it's just floating around him. What
Neat.
led you to this predicament you find yourself in?
See, that is a long and complicated story. So you see, it was like I was born, created more that came into being like less than a couple of days ago, and then we got pulled here, and then I guess it's not that long of a story. I was forged out of the miasma in a different place. I don't know how much I should tell you. We're not giving out names. I'm assuming that's a fake name, which is fine. I'm not upset by that. What's her name? The little one, the one with a small
It's
mind.
nothing. You're treating this like it's a fun little whittling creature. It's obviously evil.
Obviously not. I mean, look at me.
So,
I'm adorable. Have you seen
how-
this tail? And it pulls its tail up and it's like floofing it. Like, look how
Here's a
cute
question.
tail, like this.
How long would you say that? I mean, because Asmar and Vadrun are kind of wanderers, just kind of they wander doing jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
But how long have we been with Gorm in that
3
town
months,
specifically?
3 months.
About 3
You
months.
showed up when there was a couple of jobs. You made a good amount of coin. The guys that are there kept saying, "Hey, more work's gonna come, and it didn't. And now it was like, okay, it's been like you've probably been there. Let's call it. You've been there about the same as everyone else. So 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
And work
But
dried up about 3-4 months ago, and it got bad. Like there was no work at all.
so Vadrun's still sitting there with his hands. He just turns his head. And goes, I commune with the spirits of the damned and the dead on a regular basis.
And
The
what did you
squirrel-
see in the vision that made you freak out 2 seconds ago? It is a literal evil fiend.
Okay, first off, this fiend has a name. It's Fernando. All
I
right.
don't believe that.
That is a lovely name.
Thank you.
It's not his real name.
Anyway, Fernando, you were
What
telling
even
a
is a
story.
name?
Please
You
do
know,
continue.
let's dive into this. What even is a name? It's a way for which you could be called upon and respond accordingly. Let's test this out. Someone say my name.
Interrogate the demon squirrel,
Someone say
and then
my
we
name.
move on.
Don't listen to the tiny little brat girl, okay? Someone say my name.
Fernando.
See, oh yes, hello, good sir. How can I help you? See, I
You were telling me-
responded to it. All right.
You were telling a story. I would like,
You're a
like for you to
small-minded
continue.
little witch lady, is what you are.
She's
That's when
No one else give it
scanning
its
the
name.
tree line.
No, that's it.
Just steps away, like arms up, just like I can't deal with it.
Vadrun like looks to her, looks like so. She is some sort of alchemist. She is probably on mushrooms. You were telling a story. Do continue.
Anyway, so I was forged, created, I was existed, right? I was brought into reality. We got pulled here. I don't exactly know who. They didn't tell me a whole lot, but they're trying to do a thing to open up like a gate or something, I think. I was very really, they just told me to start eating things, and I did. So, you know.
Yes, they appear to have killed some sort of convoy and a bunch of
Oh
guards.
yeah, a
That's
lot
why
of
we're
people
here.
died. Gonna need a lot of blood for what's gonna happen. Yep.
And they just left you here.
Yeah, they said I was incompetent.
Hmm.
Look at that guy's face. Does that look like incompetence to you?
Well, you seem to have done a pretty good job.
Damn good job.
I mean, they sound like a bunch of
Stand up,
bastards,
bang up
honestly.
job, if you ask me.
I mean, you took on something that's about 10 times your size and did significant damage. I would call that competent.
Messed him up.
It's not like you're wielding a battle axe. I mean, you've got claws and
No.
tiny teeth. I mean,
No tiny teeth.
You
Sharp, though.
can hear like magical incantations like under his breath.
Yeah.
Just his hands are very still, but he is
wanna-
speaking the
wanna murder-
words to some spells right now.
I'm gonna murder this fucking asshole.
so Vidrin is like he's like hyper neutral.
Yeah.
Like he just doesn't
The
give a shit about a lot of
squirrel is
things.
Up
Like,
on your shoulder, by the way.
that's fine.
It's like I like this guy.
I mean,
We
he's
got
fully
friends.
covered. He's got a mask on. Like I said, you can only see his eyes, and then he's got like fingerless claws. But other than that,
Can
completely
I ask you a personal question?
covered. Please go ahead.
How attached to your soul are you?
My soul belongs to Dael.
It's a good answer. It's a good answer. So there's room for negotiation. That's good. That's good.
But
I like
not
that.
with me. You would have to take it up with her.
No, of course not. Yeah, we'll keep it on the DL, down low. That's what they call it down there. I mean, whoever I'm from, who knows?
That's what the kids are calling it these days, I believe.
Yes.
We all know. We all know where you're from. Why am I still-
So,
Um,
yeah.
is there any? I mean, it's pretty, like you said, it's pretty like archaic knowledge. I mean, even though we just because we've kind of just we kind of made it canon. We kind of just lump all that shit into demons, whatever. We don't really, but we know if there's or maybe Verdrun in his knowledge and reading stuff know that there's like some of them that are lawful, some of them are just
Correct.
pure evil.
Yeah.
It's just it's a
You
it's a
got
spectrum.
you got like a 30 earlier, if I remember correctly. You
I
rolled
got the
really
30.
well.
I got the two 30s. I've been
I got
rolling
like a, I think
knowledge
I got
30s.
I got like a 27 or
Yeah,
something.
you had a really. You know that there's a difference between law, chaos, etc.
Yeah. Okay.
That like the devils from hell tended to be more lawful. They could be reasoned with. The
Mhm.
demons, however, they just want blood, gore,
Just chaotic.
chaotic. Yeah.
Is there any way we can assist you, Mr. Fernando? Or are you just going to hang out here?
So the thing is, at this point, I don't want to muck up their plans just because they were mean to me. And I mean, if the dwarf loses his beard in the process, I wouldn't be upset by that. He's also been mean to me. You've been nice. I hope you live.
Well, to be fair, I did try to blind you slightly, but you were attacking my comrades, so I believe.
I mean,
fair
hey,
play.
all's fair in love and clawed faces.
He
all
like
right?
snaps his finger and like the stardust stuff like disappears from his eyes.
He's like, I
I fully cast Shocking Grasp, and my both of my hands are just
Yeah,
flickering lightning bolts of electricity.
that is incredibly aggressive, and I'm kind of turned on.
It's a posturing thing, I believe. I'm not quite sure. I haven't
I think he's coming
done
on
too
to
much
me.
with him. What he does in his spare time is his business.
Asmar readies an attack if
But
the
you said
dwarf does.
You
if
said
Garflo attacks.
said you wanted to muck up their plans. I mean, it sounds like they're up to something no good. Obviously, they killed a bunch of people here, and that's what we're here to investigate.
Oh yeah, but that was the other guys.
Well, yes, of course, but
Yeah.
you wanted to
Not
mess up their
not
plans.
directly involved. Personally, Fernando was not directly involved. He was merely present.
Do you happen to know what they're trying to conduct this ritual?
Not a clue.
Not a clue.
No.
Any sort of knowledge, local or like, do we know if there's any ruins of any sort or anything? Or I mean, just trying to think of, where would a cult go to do some culty shit?
Knowledge, geography, or knowledge local. Your choice.
Geography. I think that's the first time I've heard knowledge geography in literally like 5 years.
It's a great knowledge. You should know it.
I don't have either of those. Does anybody else have geography or local?
No.
Fantastic.
I'll have it come fourth.
Sounds
level,
like you
but-
guys might need to head back to town and find a tracker. I know a redheaded one who's kind of a bitch.
Yes, she is.
Hey, first off, you start. That's the second aggressive encounter you've had.
Excuse me?
I'm laughing so hard.
I haven't started anything.
think
I
we like
have
to pick
literally
fights.
been walking twice, been attacked twice.
You've literally just been in the wrong place at the wrong time in the last 24 hours twice.
Yeah.
So
Which
Fernando,
is beautiful. Yeah, what's
You're
up?
looking
Weird that it
forward
happened
to-
twice.
you're looking forward to make up their plan or to muck up their plans, and it seems that we're going to get dragged into this. As long as we make a pact not to attack each other, would you like to come with this? You
We
seem to
call
have
it a
some knowledge of these
contract
people.
and sign it in blood.
What about a gentleman's agreement?
Yeah, sure, whatever. He offers his little paw.
Yeah, he two fingers, like gives
Yeah,
a
a
little
little
shake.
finger.
I'm not part of this. I'm not part of this.
Yeah. Asmar's gonna start collecting up whatever isn't ruined here and like starting. Okay, this is the Tanner's stuff. This goes to
Perception
the
checks
any-
in the area. Perception
any
checks in the area, please.
Personal effects or anything?
Yeah,
that we can,
now we're thinking.
Wait, why do I have an is my macro broken?
You find out that you
just rolled a
forget you have
nat
feet.
1.
No, my macro is broken because it's giving me a -2 for some reason. I have a +1, so it should be a 2, but that doesn't make a big difference either way.
You still nat 1 that.
Yeah.
Ah, Mr. Brighthammer. The light from your lightning arcing on your hands illuminates the area underneath the cart, which has its wheels broken, but you see there appears to be a dagger of some kind that is half buried in the dirt underneath the cart. You notice it because it flashes ever so slightly red from the light that is illuminating from the lightning in your hands. And as you look down, it has a black hilt and a red blade. Black hilt and a red blade. Just a normal dagger size, like you'd buy at the market, but it's different. The
I
material
reach down.
Go
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
The material make is not like anything you've seen before.
Adric.
I reach down to the ground and ground myself, like touch
Say-
the ground and let the lightning go through, and then
Why are we letting it live?
Did you say Daedric?
I did. I said Adric for the dagger.
Real talk. It looks a little bit like a Daedric dagger. That is exactly
I'm feeling
the feel
it.
I was going for. Yep,
Oh, okay,
exactly
cool.
right. That's a
Um,
great reference. Yep.
I am wearing gloves, so I will pick it up with the gloves.
No will saves or anything. It looks like it's just a dagger.
This look familiar to anyone?
Seen anything like it other than every other knife.
Yeah, I see. I mean,
I cast detect magic.
I was gonna
The
say-
dagger is detecting as magical.
spellcraft.
The dagger is a +1 flaming dagger.
My
Give
God.
me a spellcraft check to see if you notice something else about it.
22.
The
Hold
da-
on.
The dagger. The dagger is cursed.
Ooh, wow, cursed item at level 1. Brave.
I'll take it. No.
It's a +1 flaming dagger that is cursed. The nature of the curse is that every time you use the dagger, you make a will save not to go into a weird bloodthirsty frenzy and attack everyone. It's a
Oh.
blood drinker
Cool.
dagger. is what I'm calling
This
it.
should probably go to live with someone else.
belongs in a museum.
Belongs in the museum. Name the dog, if you know. Well, I certainly don't want that.
Give me. You know what you guys are going to realize as you're mucking about, looking at where it's like, this dagger kind of looks like it was left there intentionally.
It's like a calling card.
Maybe
Or a
calling
trap.
card,
Probably it's a
maybe
trap,
Hey,
or a
find
trap.
this. That's a cool dagger. Let's play with it, right?
Yeah, just to cause chaos.
Okay. I
In fact, this
will.
entire cart scene, as you start to analyze it, looks kind of like a setup. Like they
Thinking
wanted you to
about
come over
that.
here, they wanted you to come hang out. Yep.
Thinking about that, he'd kind of lock eyes with the dwarf as they're coming to the same realization.
I believe we should leave.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. We should get out of here. This place sucks.
Do lower planers need to breathe?
That's a fantastic question. I never said I was. Well, I did imply it, but technically no.
Fantastic. And I pull out like a jar.
Why is that fantastic? Whoa, hey, Missy.
Just for safekeeping.
That is-
Somebody put the squirrel
That is rude and
in the
churlish,
jar.
and I do not want to be in a jar. That was not part of our gentleman's agreement, sir.
You're fine to
I
sit
wasn't
upon my
part of
shoulder.
it. And also, it was about harming, and you're not going to be harmed by not breathing in the jar.
Yeah,
The
but
Somebody
scroll
put him
is-
in the jar.
mostly
scroll is not going
scarring.
in the jar.
That's rude. I
No,
don't want it.
he's not. That's not gonna grab him.
So you go to grab him. He leaps back. All right, he leaps back, and as he leaps back, he goes from being a squirrel into being not a squirrel,
Being
but
an imp.
instead a tiny little imp. And the same voice, no longer squirrel-like, he says, "You guys, I thought you were cool. You guys suck."
I never thought you were cool.
I throw the dagger at him.
Chuck
To
the
be
dagger.
fair,
Go for it.
Fernando, I tried to be the nice one here. They're
I'll
just
kill you. We'll kill you last, he says.
kill me last. It's like
What about the gentleman's agreement?
no, it's a fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool, fuck you.
Yeah. Chuck the dagger, man. Let's go. Let's see what happens. I love it.
This will be.
I wish you would have grabbed him and put him in the jar, because that could have been
Just
hilarity.
imp in a jar.
Would have been really funny.
It'll be at +1. Nah.
All right. There goes by. Imps do have the ability to cast invisibility at will. It is going to go invisible and say, "You guys suck." As it flies
Oh
away.
man, damn! If my Stardust, if I hadn't dismissed it, he wouldn't have been able to go invisible.
Correct.
Get fucked.
All right.
that's-
Well, that was weird.
I wonder if he was the same one that was scratching at your
Bet it was.
apothecarium. By the way, I believe we should
She's
leave.
speechless. I don't know what to say.
Adrian starts to leave.
I go and find the knife.
Okay.
Adrian just
Like
starts
I said,
walking. He's like, "Fuck
Asmar
this."
collects up the highest value items that are here just to return to their owners,
Yeah.
whoever they were
There's
going
like some
to.
axes, and well, their owners are dead, but there's some axes and a couple
Well, I
of
assume the
like,
people that were in this
miscellaneous
caravan
tools.
like live in town and go out of town to work.
Yeah.
Some of them do at least, I imagine.
They probably have families next of kin. She's
Yeah.
like, "Did you
Yeah.
find my Did you find my Bernard? No, but I found his axe. His hand was attached to it still too."
I did find one of his.
Fetch
I
quest
found,
to
I
go
found
get a locket.
3 of his fingers and his eyeball. If you would like those.
Disgusting. You're awful.
Yep.
But you guys are gonna head down the long road on the way back to town, and that. my
Before we
friends-
leave, I just want to check to see if the shrine's been desecrated at all.
I'm so glad somebody went over there. That shrine has been completely desecrated. It is covered in blood. The statue's face has been scratched and clawed, and all of those flowers that are around it are wilted and dead.
I will do my best. I will even spend another one of my divine bombs to kind of try and
Try to clean it up.
reconsecrate this shrine. Do my best to fix it and reconsecrate it.
That is good. And our final scene will
Yeah.
be you doing that, you guys gathering things up. And that, my friends, is where we're going to end it for today. Because, candidly speaking, I'm getting a little tired. But
Yeah, me too.
that was really fun. I had a great time. As I always say at the end of every session, any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before we get ready to wrap up today's session of our first session of our little game here?
It's interesting getting to know these characters.
Yeah.
Neutral insane.
Oh, I'm neutral and yeah. Well, yeah. Look, when you spend half of your time when you hit your vision is literally, oh, I see the normal plane, oh, and the spirit plane is overlapped on top of it. You see some shit.
Yeah.
I
So
love
he's
it, dude.
kinda-
I like
he's
that
kinda-
as a DM tool to add
Yeah.
flavor.
Mhm.
It's a very fun. I remember we talked
Yeah.
about that. I was like, oh, I can add.
Well,
flavor to
it's
that.
so because of his choice of the heavens domain, he's like very connected to the spirit realm.
Yeah.
Like he's very connected to Dial, so he kind of sees spirit. That's her thing,
Well, but
is the
everything,
spirits of the dead and the
Yeah.
the restless, whatever. So it's kind of he's seen some shit. So but a demon scroll or a fiend scroll is like, It's just Tuesday.
I was not expecting ASCII to be the voice of reason again in a party.
Well,
Weave was that really hard, and I was like, okay, let's try and be a little bit out there. And then I'm immediately the voice of reason again. Like, why are we giving our names to the devil?
As far as following the lead of anyone who seemed like they knew what they were doing, because he's a fighter. He's just a guy, man.
He's just here to hit some shit.
That was
Yeah.
fun. Well, my friends, as always say, thank you so much to the players for playing. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me. As we always say, happy gaming, and remember, the dice have a story to tell. And today it was Drubak almost lost his character's face. I was ready for that squirrel. I was using the HP and the AC of an imp, but I was using the attack rolls of a squirrel.
Yeah.
I thought it was a squirrel with like a template.
It was fucking you up.
Yeah,
man.
fiendish, yeah.
It was so good. I gave it a little boost to it. Instead of a minus to it, I gave it a +1. Gave it a little extra damage, but not much. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut the recording here. Give me 1 second, guys. Go ahead and mute us.